Greetings, people. It's Mr. Pull the Trigger yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment series. So there are major questions that have been asked, and there's a very important aspect that I want us to look at on this case of Sister Ruth Matthew versus the Commissioner of Police. When they say the Commissioner of Police, it's not just a broad term that is used to describe a department, but the Commissioner of Police is actually someone, an individual in power, in authority, with the capacity to prosecute someone in the court of law. And in this case, the question that most of you will be asking, because it's now time for us to start calling out people, it's now time for us to start exposing the people that are being used by Jeremiah Omoto for fame, to further or to cover up this case of baby testimony. It's high time that we bring our A game as Team Baby Testimony. It's high time that we pull our socks up. It's high time that we dig our heels deep in and bring our A game. In this case of Baby Testimony, it's no longer the time to be spectators or to just be hailing from behind the scenes. I know we have so many people out there that can make a contribution towards this case, that can do anything within their capacity to help us fight for Baby Testimony's justice. One thing I can assure you today, one thing I can assure you right now is Jeremiah Omoto is protected. In this case of Baby Testimony, as long as this case is in Wari, as long as this case is in Delta State, we will never do anything to Jeremiah Omoto for fame. The reason why Jeremiah Omoto for fame is in comfort today, it doesn't matter how many petitions we can write to the IG. It doesn't matter how many petitions we can write to whoever or to whatever police department in Delta State. They'll never be considered. They'll never be looked into. Because Jeremiah Omoto has this entire cabal of top and senior security personnel behind his back, backing him up, supporting him, doing everything possible to make sure that no fly lands on his forehead. Sister Ruth Matthew stands no chance. Baby Testimony's justice stands no chance in Wari, in Delta State. Because Omoto has managed to bring all these people very close to him through his dubious philanthropic activities that he uses as a gimmick to buy in their favor. The Commissioner of Police is not acting independently. One thing you should be asking yourself is, how can an entire Commissioner of Police prosecute or stand on behalf of someone who's being accused of being implicated, a private individual who's being implicated in an abduction syndicate? Where does the Commissioner of Police fit in to come and represent this person who's being accused, who's being implicated in the abduction of a young child, of a baby, of a 2.5-year-old baby? How did the Commissioner of Police fit in to come and take the side of this particular individual and start prosecuting the mother of the missing child? And what the Commissioner of Police is saying is, this woman is lying. This woman is falsely accusing this prophet, this man of God. It's not by coincidence that the Commissioner of Police is standing or is filling in the gap for Jeremiah Omoto for fame. There has to be a relationship. There has to be a relationship that is being manipulated against Sister Ruth Matthew. So where do you think we will get justice? How do you think we are going to get justice? When the police that we are expecting to fill in the gap for this poor lady, when the police that we are calling out and hoping that they will facilitate the investigation of this case of a missing child, they are in bed with the men that we are accusing. Jeremiah Omoto stands to be accused in his entire necessity of being implicated in this abduction syndicate. And the reason why Jeremiah Omoto is being accused is because of a list of reasons that we have listed, that we have mentioned in the past. One of the reasons being he's refusing to release the CCTV footage that can show us a lead of the two women, of which we know one of the women is Precious Lungu, who took baby testimony. He has refused to release that footage. He has refused to provide that piece of evidence which can help or facilitate the investigation of this missing child, which makes everyone suspicious of Jeremiah Omoto Fofeng, because the only reason why he does not want to release this footage is because it implicates Mercy City and it implicates himself. The people in the footage, the two women who abducted the child, are probably people that are well known in his shrine. And one of it, according to the mother of the child, Ruth Matthew, is Precious Lungu, a very close daughter to Jeremiah Omoto Fofeng, who has been seen in different pictures on different programs with Jeremiah Omoto Fofeng. Could that be the one of the reasons why Jeremiah Omoto does not want to release the CCTV footage? And he is the very same man who's being protected by the commissioner of police. Is the very same man who's being, wiped off by the commissioner of police. And they are trying by all means to cover up for this man and throw this woman under the bus and accuse this woman of having lied. Other things, other aspects that makes us be suspicious of Jeremiah Omoto's involvement in this case of the missing child. When this mother reported that my child is missing or my child was abducted, Jeremiah Omoto and his entire security team, they chased this woman out of their compound, out of their church premises, saying that you want to tarnish the image of our church, the image of your church at the expense of a missing child. If they had nothing to do with this abduction syndicate, with this operation of the kidnapping, why would they chase this woman who has just called out that my child was taken? Why did they not assist? Why haven't they done anything about this ever since, from the day it happened up to today? The only thing that Jeremiah Omoto and his team have managed to do is to do damage control, to try to frame this very same woman of having sold her own child. The only thing that they've been doing is to distance themselves from liability by accusing the very same mother who's accusing them of being responsible, of having facilitated this abduction syndicate. They are trying by all means to frame her and make it look like to the world that this woman is lying, that this woman sold her child. They even paid an entire TV station called Arise TV huge sums of money. I'm sure they did pay them to run a TV program claiming that Ruth Matthew found her child and she ran away to South Africa. An entire TV station, and gave them a full story. In Arise TV, they brought that story to their public TV, claiming that this crippled woman found a child and she ran away with the child to South Africa. This is all that Jeremiah has been doing over the years to try to cover up for this missing child. He brought in another particular gentleman called God Love, who came again and started saying that Ruth Matthew know where the child is. Do you see how much he has tried to cover up this case of baby testimony? And then we have an entire commissioner of police coming in, chipping in to defend this very same man and accuse this very woman that you are the one who is falsely accusing this man. And for that, you are defaming his character. And the question that we have been constantly asking to the commissioner of police is, what facts do you have to prove that this woman is lying? Have you been shown the CCTV footage which can actually prove that this woman is lying? Of course not. Have you brought in Emmanuel Marcus to question him about the 70,000 that she stole from this woman? Of course you didn't. Have you asked Emmanuel Marcus, where is the cell phone that he took from this woman, which had all the proof and recordings of the conversations between her and some police officials that wanted to give her 2 million naira to forget about the child? Have you asked Emmanuel Marcus to provide that cell phone? No, you haven't. Have you gone to the bank to find out when did Emmanuel Marcus take out this money, to find the footage which shows Emmanuel Marcus taking money from Ruth Matthew's account? Have you done that as the commissioner of police? No, you haven't. So what have you actually done as the commissioner of police other than pursuing, prosecuting this innocent woman and protecting this man called Jeremiah Omoto for fame and his shrine? Mr. Commissioner of Police, what have you done? Okay, we know the reason why you are doing this. Because there is a relationship between you and Jeremiah Omoto for fame. Most of you that are in darkness, I'm sure the question that you're asking yourself is, who is the commissioner of police? Let's dig deeper. We are going to crack these people open one by one until we get to the bottom of this. And my promise to you, my promise to Ruth Matthew and her family is, we will get to the bottom of this and we will find baby testimony. It might take time. We have the time to do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of this. Whoever who is implicated or connected to this abduction syndicate or to this case of baby testimony, you will surely be brought to book. Cases of missing child, cases of kids being kidnapped, they don't get solved overnight, over 6 months. They take time. Especially a case of this nature of a child that has been missing for 3 years, it will take as long as possible, as long as it takes. But by the time we get to the finish line, everyone that is involved will be exposed. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and that's my promise and my assurance. To those that are still saying, you've been talking about this for long, we will talk about this for as long as possible until we expose everyone that has been covering up for Jeremiah Omoto for fame, until we expose everyone that has been obstructing justice for baby testimony. Baby testimony spirit will rise, and baby testimony spirit will expose everyone that is involved in this abduction syndicate. Because by freeing and getting justice for baby testimony, there are so many other kids that we are going to rescue along the way. This I know very well, and that is the reason why they will never, that is the reason why they don't want to release this boy. Because they know the boy has seen a lot. He's probably 5.5 years now. He has seen a lot, and if they release him, he's going to give a testimony. He's going to tell us what happened. He was going to tell us what was going on. That is their greatest fear. But regardless of their fears, we just don't care. We're going to put as much pressure on them as possible. And we're going to take as much steps as possible and necessary to get justice for our missing boy. And we will surely get justice for baby testimony. So, as for you, Mr. Commissioner of Police, this is just scraping the surface. I'm just going to bring the Commissioner of Police, because in court is the Commissioner of Police against Ruth Matthew. Is the Commissioner of Police who is standing on behalf of Jeremiah Omoto for fame. Why would the Commissioner of Police stand for a private citizen, for a private individual? Why can't Jeremiah Omoto for fame himself be on the forefront of this case? He doesn't have to. He's friends with the Commissioner of Police. He can just call, it's just a phone call away. He can just write a petition while he's in the comfort of his home and say, gentlemen, I have a case. This is the case that I have, and I need your boys on it, and I need you on it. Do everything that is possible, everything that is necessary to make sure that you either kill this case, destroy this case, or to make sure that you take this woman and then you put her behind the bars. Now you know why it's easy for Jeremiah Omoto to get anyone arrested. Now you will know why Jeremiah Omoto, it's so convenient for him to get anyone behind bars, because he has all these people in high power in his pockets. And how does he manage to get them in his pockets? Let's explore. But before we explore, let's find out who the Commissioner of Police is. This is the Commissioner of Police. Most of you might not know him, or most of you might have not known him. But this gentleman right here is the Commissioner of Police. And the question that you are having is, when did he become the Commissioner of Police? He became the Commissioner of Police in December, but he was inaugurated in January. I think on the 18th or 17th of January 2021. As you can read from this article, which is called The Guardian, it reads, Ali assumes duty as new Delta Police Commissioner. And in the article it reads, I'll just read a brief summary so that you can have an idea of who Muhammad Ali is. Because Mr. Muhammad Ali is the Commissioner of Police who's suing Ruth Matthew in court and who's taking the side of Jeremiah Omoto for fame. A new Commissioner of Police has assumed duty in Delta State Police Command, He is CP Muhammad Ari Ali. CP Ali took over from Aig Hafiz Muhammad Inua, who was recently elevated to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police and redeployed to Zone 13. So this is the part that I want you to take note of. This is the part that I want you to pay attention to. CP Ali took over Hafiz Muhammad Inua. So Muhammad Inua was the commissioner of police from in 2019 when this case was actually taking place. When baby Tesman was actually abducted, it was Mr. Muhammad Inua who was the commissioner of police back then. And to those of you who do not know Mr. Muhammad Inua, this is the picture of Mr. Aig Hafiz Muhammad Inua. He was the commissioner of police during the tenure of 2019. I'm just looking at the time frame when baby testimony's case was on the peak. Between 2019 and 2021, we had this particular gentleman as the commissioner of police. So Mr. Muhammad Inua was the commissioner of police when this case started. And then he was elevated in 2021, just a year before, to a higher level. And he was replaced by this very new commissioner of police who's called Muhammad Ali. So, this is something that I want you to look at. We are going to look at the relationship between the previous commissioner of police, Mr. Muhammad Inua, and the relationship between the new commissioner of police, Mr. Muhammad Ali. We're going to look at their respective relationships with Jeremiah Omoto. Why do they have Omoto's back? Why do they have Omoto's best interest at heart? What makes them bow down to Jeremiah Omoto for fame and honor Jeremiah Omoto for fame to this degree that we can have a case of a missing child and then they can choose to ignore this case and side with Jeremiah Omoto for fame to the extent of them prosecuting the mother of the missing child? What happened? How did they get there? What relationship is there? That's what I want you to look at. But we are going to specifically look at the new commissioner of police who's presiding this case, who's prosecuting Sister Ruth Matthew in court, who happens to be Muhammad Ali. Is it Muhammad Ali? Yes, something like that. But this is his picture. This is the particular commissioner of police who is handling the case of Ruth Matthew in court at the moment. So I'm going to take you a year later, after this gentleman was put in power, after Muhammad Ali took over Muhammad Inua. Let me just give you a little bit of insight before I make the explanation or before I give you the details that I want to give you. These charlatans, they are very strategic and they are very clever. They know that there are so many victims of theirs out there. They know they have so many cases that they have out there. They know there are multiple victims of theirs, young ladies that they sleep with, young ladies that they impregnate, that are forever going to report to the police, kids going missing, other kids dying in their shrines. They know those cases will always haunt them. So the first people that they make good friends with, the first people that they make sure they bring closer to them are the police, are the police commissioners, are the head of police, are those people that are in the law enforcement departments. So that when these cases start uprising, they don't go anywhere. Tell me which case can ever go anywhere that you have to sue a charlatan. Just one case. Enenche was being sued recently by Igoche. Igoche was the victim, but Igoche is the one that was arrested and detained. Yet Enenche was the one who was supposed to be the defendant. They control all of these people. Solomon himself, how many people has he gotten arrested recently? Some of his victims are the ones who actually get arrested. That's how they build their empires. That's how they protect themselves from being accused or from being brought to book, by bringing these people and keeping them in their pockets. But they don't do it at no cost. There's always a cost involved. They always have to part with the money that you give them as tight as seeds. They always give it to these law enforcement officials in brown envelopes so that their backs can be covered. So how did Jeremiah manage to build a relationship with the new commissioner of police, Mr. Muhammad Ali? Just a year after he was inaugurated, just a year after he assumed position from the previous commissioner of police, Jeremiah Omoto donated 40 million naira to on a function that he was calling. He was giving it to some wives of late heroes and stuff like that. He held an event and invited the commissioner of police to come and grace the event. Let me bring it to you. Let me bring the article to you so that you can even understand it and know that the commissioner of police will never take any action against Jeremiah Omoto for fame. If you look at this article that was written in December 2021, on the 8th of December 2021, it reads, Delta Police Commissioner applauds Jeremiah Omoto for fame for assisting widows of fallen heroes with 40 million naira. The Commissioner for Police in Delta State, Muhammad Ali, has applauded the Nigerian prophet Jeremiah for fame for assisting widows of fallen heroes with 40 million naira. Let me just read the conclusion. Let me just read the final part of this article. The article is actually long, but I'll just read the final part so that you know that the Commissioner of Police is standing in for Jeremiah Omoto for fame. In his last remarks, he said, Fofane appreciates the value of friendship, and that has placed so many friends around him. This is the Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Ali. He said, Fofane appreciates the value of friendship, and that has placed so many friends around him. And he made this statement in conclusion after Fofane donated the 40 million naira for assisting widows of fallen heroes. So, if Omoto makes such huge donations and he brings in this commissioner, of course the commissioner went with something. We don't know what it is, but we know what it is. And the reason why he had the commissioner involved, the reason why he's trying to impress the commissioner, or the reason why he's trying to buy the commissioner's favor by donating this 40 million naira to the wives of the widows. And you might realize that the widows did not even get all the 40 million naira. The widows might have just they could have just been given 2 million naira to share amongst themselves. And the rest could have been taken by the big man, by the commissioner himself. So tell me, do you think Ruth Matthew stands a chance? Do you think if we petition to the commissioner of police in Delta or Wari, that petition will ever be considered? Do you think there's anything that they can do to Jeremiah Omoto for fame in Delta State, in Wari? If he can control the commissioner of police like this, what more of the judiciary? Who else does he know? As you can see on these pictures, they are together with the commissioner of police. These are friends, man. These are good buddies. Do you think the commissioner of police, Mr. Muhammad Ali, will ever let Jeremiah Omoto go down? Do you think that it will ever? That's the relationship that they have with the commissioner of police. So to those of you who have been wondering, why is the commissioner of police representing Jeremiah Omoto for fame? Now you know. Jeremiah Omoto bought in their favor. Jeremiah Omoto managed to bring all of them close to him, like what the commissioner of police said, that he knows, Jeremiah Omoto for fame knows how to bring friends around him. Now the issue we want to look at, we're not going to look at it on this episode. These are all the facts I wanted to establish on this video. What we are going to look at is what was the relationship between Jeremiah Omoto and the outgoing commissioner of police. Mr. Muhammad Inua, the one who was recently relocated and taken back to his previous state. So that we know when this began, because we have to expose all of them. We have not yet exposed Muhammad Ali. We have not yet. We have just established the relationship that he has with Jeremiah Omoto for fame. So that when I bring in this document, which says a case between the Commissioner of Police versus Ruth Matthew, then you know who's the Commissioner of Police. And then you know the relationship that this Commissioner of Police, Mr. Muhammad Ali, has with Jeremiah Omoto for fame. What we need to establish, or what we need to find out, is, did he just carry on from where the previous Commissioner of Police left on? Did he just carry on with the ritual, with their ritual that they had with Jeremiah Omoto for fame, or not? It's going to get interesting, and we are going to scatter some tables. So commissioners, I don't know if you took something. I don't know if your relationship with Omoto for fame, is there was an exchange of something. But whatever it is, or whatever that you ate, or whatever that you swallowed, it's high time that you vomit it before it's too late. Because you're going to disgrace the entire law enforcement of Nigeria, the entire police department of Nigeria, if we establish that there was actually something going on between you two, or there is actually something that transpired between you two for you, which actually short-circuited your abilities to perform or to carry out your responsibilities. The thing is, people are afraid of police. The thing is, people are so scared of police. They don't know that police, we own them. These people, they don't bring any productivity to any nation. They are part of government's expenditure. Their salaries comes from our taxes. We are the ones who are bringing production. We are the ones who are we're contributing to the GDP of our economies. And part of our money is going to these police officials so that they can maintain law and order. We have to call them out so that they don't waste taxpayers' money. The commissioners of police, they are wasting taxpayers' money. They are occupying positions which they are not befitting. They are being used by these private moguls who have been stealing money from people, from gullible believers, to oppress the innocent. Now we have a disabled mother, who's being prosecuted by the commissioner of police, an entire commissioner of police, simply because his friend is being accused. The commissioner of police's friend, Jeremiah Omoto, is being accused. So he's coming in to defend his friend and throw this poor woman under the bus. And who does this woman have? Can she afford to buy the friendship of a commissioner of police? She can't. Does she have the money to buy the friendship of an entire commissioner of police? She doesn't. She has you, she has me, she has us. We're going to stand with her, we're going to fight with her. And we're going to make sure that justice prevails. The spirit of baby testimony is going to expose all of them. So digest this. After this episode, I think we might do a live broadcast so that I can hear your feedback. But we have not yet started exposing all these puppets of Jeremiah Omoto for fame. When we start scattering the tables, when we start calling them out, they'll feel the heat and they'll do the right thing. Chances are they're going to withdraw all these court cases that they have been imposing on Ruth Matthew, which are valueless, which have no merit. They absolutely have no merit. What case does Mr. Muhammad Ali have against Ruth Matthew? What case does this commissioner of police have against Ruth Matthew? No case. They did not do their job. They have not been doing their job. They have been sleeping on duty. We are going to wake them up. And we are going to force them to do what they're supposed to do the right thing. So till I meet you again on the next episode of the Enlightenment series, this is Mr. Pull the Trigger. I'm out.